God, a trans woman in New York. I got to take a pee. Anyway, oh my God, a Trump International Hotel. I love this.
Call it the politics of Kate, the conservative Republican transgender star injecting herself into the national debate over controversial proposals banning transgender people from using public facilities based on how they identify.
Hi, welcome to another video. In an earlier video I made, Trump was considering revoking trans rights to be called anything they want, which I think is a great idea, by the way. I mean, you are only born with one gender, right? Either male or female. We don't get to choose what we are at birth. In response to this, Caitlyn Jenner said she no longer supports Trump. Caitlyn revoked her support of President Trump in a Washington Post Thursday, calling her previous support for his administration a mistake. Following Trump's election as president, I saw fertile ground for change within the Republican Party on LGBTQ issues. Sadly, I was wrong, she said. The reality TV star and Olympic medalist wrote, "The reality is that the trans community is being relentlessly attacked by this president. He has insulted our dignity. He has made trans people into political pawns as he whips up animus against us in an attempt to energize the most right-wing segment of his party. This is politics at its worst. I must learn from my mistakes and move forward," she added. Jenner came out as transgender in 2015 and spoke at the 2016 Republican National Convention about how the party could be more open to LGBTQ issues.
Using public facilities based on how they identify.
If Donald Trump dresses up as Hillary Clinton, he still can't use the little girl's restroom.
In deeply religious Indiana, the issue front and center.
If you value religious liberty, the right of every one of us to live according to our faith and according to our conscience, to seek out and worship God Almighty without government getting in the way.
Religious voters here crucial to Cruz. 72% of adult Indianans identify as Christian, 31% of them as evangelicals. It is a full-on battle for their support in his effort to stop Trump.
It doesn't make sense to allow grown adult men, strangers, to be alone in a bathroom with little girls. And anyone who says differently is political correctness on steroids.
Trump on the Today Show said Caitlyn Jenner could use any bathroom she wanted in his Trump Tower. Jenner, who had expressed support but not an endorsement of Cruz, took the billionaire up on his offer.
Donald Trump said I could take a pee anywhere in a Trump facility, so I am gonna go take a pee in the ladies' room.
Trump says his remarks only meant that transgender people using public facilities is a state, not federal issue. Cruz not letting up, running this campaign ad across Indiana. Evangelicals here already on the defensive after the failure of a controversial religious freedom bill made national headlines.
This is about our lives.
But is it too little, too late for Cruz?
My mother gave me this Bible.
Trump's support among evangelicals surprisingly high throughout the primaries, even besting Cruz among deeply religious voters in a majority of states.
I want to thank the evangelicals.
The politics of Kate.
That way? Thank you.
Now playing in the Hoosier state.
And not anymore. W. Oh, God, okay. Thank you, Donald. I really appreciate it. And by the way, Ted, nobody got molested.
I feel like the trans community is probably where the gay community was 30, 40 years ago. I mean, they fought for everything. In courts, publicly, they fought for marriage equality, they fought for all these issues, you know, and they just never gave up. If they lost in the vote, they went to court, and eventually society came around to understanding the issues, and eventually we had marriage equality. The trans community's in that position. That's pretty much what I've done over the last couple of years. I've tried to educate myself and also publicly been trying out there to get people to know that, you know what, we're not crazy people. If there's one thing I have gotten an enormous amount of flack on over the last few years is that I'm older. I've always been on the Republican side. I've always been. And right now, they have the executive branch, they got Congress, they got the Senate, and they got 2/3 of all governors in the United States. I think it's a good thing that I'm on the Republican side because I've got it in. Has this administration set us backwards? Absolutely. And every time they've done it, I've fought it. I work very closely with the American Unity Fund, which their sole mission statement for the American Unity Fund is to get the Republican Party to do a better job when it comes to all LGBT issues. On the economic side, I'm very conservative. I believe in limited government. I believe in lower taxes. I believe in less regulations. I want a thriving economy. I want Americans to be able to succeed. But socially, I'm much more progressive. We have to get them to be more progressive when it comes to social issues. I mean, it's their biggest